Alright, hello, welcome to this week's video lecture. We are going to be talking about seizures. So the elements of a seizure are intending to seize an object, exercising the authority to do so, physically controlling the object, and that the person has an understanding of what is happening. Law enforcement, this decision involves officer discretion, and something that starts as a simple stop can escalate and become an arrest or a full body search. A stop is different than the Fourth Amendment under the Constitution. Officers do still need to have reasonableness. When an officer, so specifically thinking about a stop, an officer can frisk someone that they think might be armed. This is for officer safety. That frisk is limited to a pat down of their outer clothing. And stops, they don't have a set duration for length. The courts consider the totality of the circumstances. They look at the purpose of the stop, the amount of time used, and the means used based on everything. When you are in your vehicle, you can be stopped for equipment violations, erratic driving, and when the occupant is suspected of committing a crime. This comes from Delaware v. Prowse in 1979, where police officers stopped a car without probable cause to just simply check the driver's license and registration. The courts held that that was a violation of Prowse's privacy. So, first stops, now arrests. The elements of an arrest are intending to take a person into custody, exercising the authority to do so, detaining and or restraining the person to be arrested, and that the arrestee understands what is happening. When we evaluate this, we use a reasonable person standard. Would a reasonable person in this circumstance understand that they were free to go? Would they feel detained? So if you were particularly sensitive, we would look at a reasonable person. Your perception would be discounted a little bit, because we do want this kind of more societal and objective view. Arrest can be made of one of three ways. Officers can arrest for a crime committed in their presence, a felony if they have probable cause, or with an arrest warrant. Arrest can be made in a public place without a warrant if probable cause exists, and police cannot enter a private home to make a felony arrest unless exigent circumstances exist. An exigent circumstance would be hot pursuit, which would be when the period when an individual is being immediately chased by law enforcement. There are limits on this because pursuit is dangerous for everyone, even just citizens who happen to be out and about that day. It is reasonable for police officers in pursuit to use force. This is from Scott v. Harris in 2007. So when a government agent search someone incident to an arrest, they can use as much force as is reasonably necessary to protect themselves, to prevent escape, or prevent the destruction or concealment of evidence. Reasonableness of police action here determines whether or not the action was lawful. It's only unlawful when it becomes unreasonable. This permits kind of police officer discretion. Legitimate use of force includes self-defense, the defense of others, the ability to effectuate an arrest, the duty to prevent an escape or overcome resistance. The amount of force must be reasonable, but it's kind of based on a totality of the circumstances. Tennessee v. Garner in 1985 is a use of force case where the issue is could deadly force be used to apprehend a nonviolent felon who was fleeing? And the Supreme Court held no, that deadly force cannot be justified when a fleeing felon presents no immediate danger to the officer or others. going along with the use of force, use of a taser can also become unreasonable if excessive force is used. If the subject was not a flight risk, nor a dangerous felon, or an immediate threat, then using that taser would not be reasonable. Deadly force can only, the only time officers should use deadly force is in self-defense or to protect the lives of others. The use of deadly force to prevent the escape of any felon is unreasonable based on that Tennessee v. Garner case. Citizens arrests, this is defined as detention by a non-government agent. In states that allow citizens arrest, the arrestee needs to immediately be turned over to law enforcement. Otherwise, that arrestee is risking being charged with a crime of such as false imprisonment. Some people have immunity from arrest because of federal or state statutes. So foreign diplomats, ministers, and their assistants can't be arrested. Officers who are using reasonable force in a lawful manner are immune from arrest. Okay. Next topic here, or that's the last topic here actually. So as you review this chapter, there's a lot of content in this chapter. I would really encourage you to look through the case in briefs because they give a lot of information throughout the whole chapter. If you have any questions about any of those cases, please let me know. Otherwise, I hope you have a great week. And I look forward to working with you this week.